Did BNB Matthew Atkinson have to be convinced to come back? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that he was once an important, full-time character, but it looks like this actor has decided to take a back seat on the show. Did Matthew Atkinson have to be convinced to come back? Clearly, we are talking about Matthew Atkinson, who is best known for his role as Thomas Forrester on the hit CBS soap. There's the belief among BNB fans that Matthew simply doesn't feel as connected to his character as he once did before. After all, it wasn't too long ago that Thomas was a mainstay on the show and someone who was causing more problems and mayhem than any other character. And now he's just someone who checks in once in a while and tries to get his parents back together. If he's not doing that, then he's trying to help revive Hope Logan's dying fashion line. But is that the only thing he's been reduced to now? So, does this mean that Matthew had to be convinced to come back? Clearly, the bold and the beautiful fans have had a lot to say about the matter. What's next for Thomas Forrester? Some even commented with, "I don't think he's actually back full-time." He said he would continue living in Paris with Douglas and work remotely and fly in when needed. It's unclear how much he'll actually appear in stories at this point. I would be happy to have him back, though. And then there was this comment as well. Not sure if this is totally true, but his wife was supposedly not happy with all the love scenes he was involved with in his role after the birth of their son. It is unfortunate if that is the case because he is an excellent actor, and in my opinion, he and Annika were the hottest couple on the soap screens. So far, Matthew Atkinson himself has not made any comments about the matter just yet. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. In the meantime, let us know what you think by leaving us a line with your thoughts in our comment section below. The halls of Forrester Creations have been buzzing with a bittersweet energy this holiday season. But for fans of Matthew Atkinson, the latest news feels like a punch to the gut. While we finally got the reunion we've been begging for, it comes wrapped in a layer of sad news that has the daytime community reeling. The big question on everyone's mind isn't just if Thomas Forrester is back, but rather, did Matthew Atkinson have to be convinced to return, and is he already on his way out again? The sudden return, a Christmas miracle or a short-term fix? For months, the absence of Thomas Forrester left a massive void in the Bold and the Beautiful. When Matthew Atkinson was scrubbed from the opening credits earlier in 2025, many feared the worst, that the talented actor had moved on for good. So when he reappeared on screen during the week of December 22nd, 2025, the excitement was palpable. However, the sad news lies in the nature of this comeback. Despite Thomas walking back into the CEO office and reclaiming his lead designer chair, industry insiders and recent filming leaks suggest this isn't the long-term contract return we hoped for. The one-week warning, reports from behind the scenes, including social media posts from executive producers, hinted that Atkinson was only back filming for a singular week. The Paris connection. On screen, Thomas has made it clear he isn't moving back to Los Angeles full-time. He plans to work remotely from Paris, flying in only when necessary. For fans who wanted daily soap drama, this part-time status is a heartbreaking development. Did he have to be convinced? Rumors have been swirling regarding why Atkinson left in the first place and what it took to get him back for this holiday arc. While the actor has always been professional, several factors suggest the show's brass had to work hard to secure his return. 1. The family factor. Matthew Atkinson welcomed a son with his wife, Brittany Ratledge, in late 2024. Sources suggest that his desire to be a present father and spend time with his growing family has been his primary focus. Convincing a new father to return to the grueling schedule of a daily soap often requires significant flexibility, hence the remote work storyline for Thomas. 2. The creative crossroads. There has been chatter in fan circles and on platforms like Reddit that Atkinson may have been looking for a reformed path for Thomas. After years of playing the villain, or the obsessed ex, the actor reportedly wanted an arc that respected the character's growth. If he had to be convinced, It likely involved promises that Thomas wouldn't immediately revert to his old, manipulative ways. 3. Religious and personal growth. Some reports have touched upon Atkinson's personal journey and his desire to align his work with his personal beliefs. This has led to speculation that he is becoming more selective about the roles and storylines he portrays, potentially making the creepy Thomas tropes a thing of the past. The sad reality, Thomas as a plot device. The most heartbreaking part of this news for Thope, Thomas and Hope, shippers is the realization that Thomas might only be back to act as a catalyst for other characters. With Katie Logan launching her own rival fashion house through Spencer Publications, the show needed a reason for Hope Logan to leave Forrester Creations. By bringing Thomas back and having Steffi fire the young designer Deke to make room for him, the writers have created the perfect storm. The theory: Thomas isn't back to stay, he's back to push Hope to her breaking point, forcing her to quit Forrester and join Katie's new company. Once that transition is complete, Thomas may head back to Paris, leaving fans once again in the lurch. What's next for Matthew Atkinson? While it is sad news that this return appears to be short-term or recurring at best, there is a silver lining. Atkinson's chemistry with Annika Noel, Hope, remains the hottest thing on daytime TV. Even in limited scenes, his presence elevates the show. Whether he stays for a month or a year, the impact of his return is already being felt. He has officially reignited the fashion wars, and the fallout of his arrival is set to dominate the 2026 storylines. 2. The creative crossroads. There has been chatter in fan circles and on platforms like Reddit that Atkinson may have been looking for a reformed path for Thomas. After years of playing the villain, or the obsessed ex, the actor reportedly wanted an arc that respected the character's growth. If he had to be convinced, it likely involved promises that Thomas wouldn't immediately revert to his old, manipulative ways. 3. Religious and personal growth. Some reports have touched upon Atkinson's personal journey and his desire to align his work with his personal beliefs. This has led to speculation that he is becoming more selective about the roles and storylines he portrays, potentially making the creepy Thomas tropes a thing of the past. The sad reality, Thomas as a plot device. The most heartbreaking part of this news for Thope, Thomas and Hope, shippers is the realization that Thomas might only be back to act as a catalyst for other characters. With Katie Logan launching her own rival fashion house through Spencer Publications, the show needed a reason for Hope Logan to leave Forrester Creations. By bringing Thomas back and having Steffi fire the young designer Deke to make room for him, the writers have created
December
the perfect
27th,
storm. 2025, Hollywood, CA. Today brings heartbreaking headlines for fans of the bold and the beautiful B&B, as new speculation resurfaces around Matthew Atkinson's return as Thomas Forrester, and whether he truly wanted to reprise the role or was convinced to come back against his own wishes. What should have been a joyful comeback now carries a heavy cloud of doubt, emotion, and community sorrow. Atkinson's return in September 2025 was originally celebrated as a major win for longtime viewers. After more than a year off the screen, having last appeared in July 2024, the actor's reappearance set off waves of excitement. CBS confirmed he would reprise Thomas Forrester, and previews showed fans thrilled to have him back at Forrester Creations, ready to stir up drama and rekindle old rivalries. Soap Opera Network. But the glow of that happy news has dimmed. Crying face, conflicted return. Not the homecoming fans wanted. New reports emerging today from Soap Opera Spy have ignited conversation online and among the fan base. Did Matthew Atkinson actually have to be convinced or even pressured to return to B&B? According to this coverage, there are fan comments and rumors suggesting that Atkinson's reasons for returning may not have stemmed from passion for the role or creative joy. Soap Opera Spy. Among the circulating claims, some fans online speculate the actor does not intend to return full-time, instead splitting time between living abroad and brief appearances. Soap Opera Spy. Unverified whispers suggest his wife was uncomfortable with intense, love scene storylines after the birth of their child. a deeply personal conflict if true, which could have complicated his B&B commitments. Soap opera spy Atkinson has not publicly commented to confirm or deny any of this, leaving fans in emotional limbo. Collision of fandom in pain, reaction and rumors spread. Social communities have been rocked by the news. On Reddit, fans reacted this very week with sorrow and frustration, painting a picture of a beloved actor potentially being pushed and pulled by both the show and his personal life. One recent user wrote that it looks like this actor has decided to take a back seat on the show, underscoring how his abrupt on-off schedule has sapped enthusiasm and left viewers anxious. Reddit. Other fans lament the way B&B's production has treated actors, with remarks like, "They keep playing with him, they take all of his life for the role," expressing emotional fatigue and sympathy for Atkinson's personal situation. Reddit. This sadness isn't just about storytelling. It's about the human at the heart of a character people have loved for years. Counterclockwise arrows button, a story of back and forth, on and off the canvas. To understand why this moment hurts so deeply, we must look back. Atkinson originally joined B&B in 2019 as Thomas Forrester and quickly became one of the show's most compelling figures thanks to his complexity, charisma, and emotional range. Parade. Yet, his time on the soap has been far from steady. After departing the canvas in July 2024, fans were left wondering if he was gone for good, and his name was even removed from end credits, sparking rumors of a permanent exit. Wikipedia. Then came the surprise re-entry in September 2025, which should have felt like a triumphant homecoming. But the comeback has been strangely muted. Unlike a big, regular cast return, such as when characters come back to shift the fate of Forrester creations or reshape Logan family dynamics, Atkinson's reappearance, though filmed, has lacked consistent screen time and long-term story anchoring. Michael Fairman TV. Instead, his appearances have felt spotty, secondary, and at times mysterious, leaving fans wondering if B&B truly intends to use him or merely brought him back temporarily for plot convenience. Wilted Flower, the heartbreak of speculation and silent actors. Perhaps the most painful part is the silence. Atkinson has not made any public statement clarifying his motivations, desires, or intentions regarding the show. The rumor mill fills that void with speculation. When a beloved actor stays silent amid swirling conjecture, fans are left to imagine all the worst possibilities: contract disputes, creative disagreements, personal discomfort, or behind-the-scenes pressure. Whatever the truth is, fans feel the loss. One Reddit commenter said bluntly and sadly about his return, "He turned me off. He came back arrogant and entitled. Can't wait for him to go back to Paris." Another lamented that they should recast if he doesn't want to return full-time. Reddit. That mix of anger, sadness, and confusion, all rooted in love for the character and actor, reveals just how emotionally invested audiences have become. Brain, what does this mean for B&B's future storylines? If these rumors have any truth, the implications could be massive for B&B. Thomas Forrester's arc, once central to major plot lines, especially romantic drama and family conflict, may become sidelined again. The love triangle with Hope, Logan, Liam Spencer, and Thomas, a core emotional engine of the show for years, could lose momentum if the actor does not stay. Michael Fairman TV. Viewers who tune in for Thomas and Hope Thope feel especially hurt, as that pairing was one of the most electrifying and passionate in recent soap history. Behind it all is the nagging fear that Atkinson's return was not harmonious and may have been made out of necessity rather than genuine creative desire. That tension between career commitment and personal life demands is relatable, heartbreaking, and very human. Speech Balloon fans speak out, a community in mourning. Across fan forums, grief is palpable. He's a wonderful actor, and Thomas was the best thing that happened to B&B in years. It hurts to think he might not want to be here. Another fan wrote, "If he had to be convinced to come back, that breaks my heart. He should be doing this because he loves it, not because someone asked him to." And one user put it most bluntly, "I wish he'd just say what's going on instead of leaving us like this." Fans don't just miss Thomas, they miss what he represented. Heart, complexity, emotional honesty, and the unpredictable pulse of good daytime storytelling. Performing arts, the bigger picture. Actors as people, not just characters. This entire situation is a harsh reminder that actors are real people with real lives, families, and boundaries. Matthew Atkinson's potential hesitation, whatever the real reasons, reflects something audiences often forget in the heat of fandom. A performer's life outside the character matters deeply. Rumors of family discomfort with certain scenes, personal priorities after becoming a parent, or a desire to spend more time away from the demanding soap schedule. These are personal, human, valid concerns. Yet, in fan communities, silence leaves emotional gaps, and imagination fills them with worry and sadness. Cloud with Rain, today's takeaway, a departure from joyful returns. What was meant to be a happy retrospective of Atkinson's comeback instead reads like a soap opera in its own right. Twists, mysteries, regret, hope unfulfilled, and emotional cliffhangers. Even if none of the rumors are accurate, the fact that fans feel this level of uncertainty and heartbreak says a lot about how deeply they care. A story that should be about celebration, a beloved actor's rejoining an iconic series, has become a painful reflection of how fragile and complicated the world of television drama can be. Heart decoration, final thought. Love for character amid sadness. One thing is clear. Fans don't just watch B&B, The Bold and the Beautiful has thrived on emotional highs and devastating lows. Weddings, betrayals, reunions, tragic losses, and explosive family drama. But the latest chapter involving Thomas Forrester, one of the show's most complex and controversial characters, has left fans stunned, disappointed, and deeply sad. Thomas's journey, once filled with passion, rivalry, heartbreak, and redemption, now hinges on uncertainty. What happened? What's next? And why are loyal viewers so upset? Let's unpack every emotional twist, casting shakeup, and future possibility in this ongoing saga. Soap Opera Network, +1. Decreasing the sad reality. Thomas's story isn't the same anymore. When The Bold and the Beautiful announced Thomas Forrester's return to Los Angeles and Forrester Creations in late 2025, fans were ecstatic. Played by actor Matthew Atkinson, Thomas had not been a fixture on the show for months after departing in mid-2024 when he left for France with his fiancée, Paris Buckingham. Soap Opera Network. His reappearance was teased by promotional clips, Instagram updates from the actor, and actual filming on set. All signs pointed to an emotional renaissance for the reformed bad boy. Yet, as the episodes aired and the dust settled, the excitement turned into confusion, disappointment, and heartbreak. Soap Hub. Crying face, what went wrong? A character lost in the shuffle one. Thomas returns, but not the Thomas fans remembered. For many viewers, Thomas Forrester was more than a supporting cast member. He was a catalyst. His obsessive love triangle with Hope, Logan, and Liam Spencer dominated storylines for years, turning him into a fan favorite because of his ruthless passion, emotional vulnerability, and layered contradictions. But when he came back in September 2025, things felt different. Michael Fairman TV. Instead of immediately reigniting those intense emotional flames, his return started with him struggling under the weight of feeling lost. Confessing to his father that he broke off his engagement to Paris after the chaotic fallout involving Liam and Grace Buckingham. Some critics even questioned whether Thomas was acting less like a driven Forrester and more like a conflicted, directionless soul. A stark departure from the magnetic presence that once drew viewers in. Michael Fairman TV. Fans were torn. They wanted the return, yet they felt like the heart of the character was fading. Comments across social media lamented that the story lacked the emotional punch his past arcs delivered, especially when his emotional conflict was about something that seemed disconnected from his core motivations. Reddit. Broken heart, the bigger blow. Thomas's screen time has been limited. One of the most painful aspects of this storyline for devoted viewers has been how fleeting Thomas's appearances have been. After returning in early autumn, he disappeared from the narrative for stretches, re-emerging sporadically as the ensemble cast swirled around him. Reddit. This inconsistency sparked rumors among fans and industry insiders that Atkinson's stay might be temporary, a news nobody wanted to hear. Threads on fan forums speculated that his return was not a full-time contract, that he was filming only a handful of episodes, or that the story team was unsure how to integrate him meaningfully. Reddit. One Reddit commenter expressed what many felt. They bring back Thomas, and then he's nowhere to be found. Are they unable to write for more than 5 to 6 people at a time? Reddit. That line captures the frustration perfectly, not only with Thomas's screen time, but with the perceived lack of direction in the writing. Disappointed face a fan base in mourning. Bring back the real Thomas. Across social communities, the sentiment is heartbreaking. Why are we ignoring his arc when he was such a powerful character? This return was the emotional chance we've been waiting for. But he never got the story he deserved. Many fans point back to iconic Thomas moments and message boards littered with nostalgia for his earlier seasons, when his relationship with Hope, rivalry with Ridge, and struggles with identity made him one of daytime TV's most compelling figures. Now there's a collective sense that something real and deeply emotional has been lost. Reddit. Exploding head, but the pain isn't all fiction, behind-the-scenes rumors. Part of the sadness isn't just about Thomas the character, it's also about Matthew Atkinson the actor. Rumors have swirled that his return might not be long-term and that factors outside the storyline, contract uncertainty, filming logistics, personal decisions, could be at play. Reddit. Several reports from fan events hinted that Atkinson's comeback might be like other short visits in the past, similar to how some stars return for only a handful of episodes, which always leaves viewers wanting more. Reddit. This sort of uncertainty, lack of clarity about whether he's really back versus just back for a bit, deepens the emotional toll on fans. They're not only mourning the story that isn't being told, they're mourning the possibility that it may never be told at all. Television, what's next for Thomas? A glimmer of hope or continued pain? With all the complexity surrounding Thomas's journey, the big question remains, what happens next? Here's what we know, speculate, and fear. 1. Thomas is back in the Forrester fold, storyline still active. Recent episodes show him immersing himself back into Forrester creations, even reclaiming a leadership role among designers after displacing Deke Sharp. This suggests the show still wants Thomas to matter in the narrative. Primetimer.com. 2. Hope and Liam drama continues. Thomas's presence is already a source of tension in the newly rekindled marriage between Hope and Liam. Just being near them, professionally and emotionally, stirs unresolved feelings. Expect new conflict and potentially emotional fireworks this holiday season. Soap Hub. 3. Emotional boundary lines. Hope has limits. Spoilers suggest that Hope Logan may resist Thomas being too close, especially in fashion collaborations, further deepening personal heartbreak for him. Reddit. 4. Possible new romantic arc or shift. Some rumors indicate the possibility of Thomas developing a connection with a new love interest, adding a fresh layer of emotional turmoil. Reddit. 5. The bigger fear. Another temporary run. This is the aspect that truly breaks fans' hearts. The idea that Thomas's return might not be a full-time homecoming. Without a long-term contract or storyline commitment from the writers, his arc could fade again, leaving a void in the narrative and hearts of many viewers. Reddit. Thought balloon why this feels so sad, more than just a soap opera story. Cultural commentators and viewers alike will tell you that soaps aren't just about romantic entanglements. They're emotional homes for fans. Characters like Thomas become familiar, beloved, and even family-like over years and decades. Now fans are seeing a favorite character struggle to find his footing again, a return that feels incomplete, an uncertain future both in story and in casting. That's more than a narrative twist. That's emotional investment feeling ignored. And for viewers who have followed every twist, heartbreak, and triumph, it hurts. Soap Opera Network. Pushpin final thoughts. A sad now, but maybe a hopeful later. The sad news for Thomas Forrester isn't that he's gone. It's that the story around him feels unfinished, unfocused, and halted just when fans most wanted to see real emotional growth and payoff. Yet there is hope. Daytime drama thrives on reinvention and second chances, a beloved soap trope. Characters once written off have returned to redefine their place in the world. And in a family as tumultuous as the Forresters, Thomas may yet find his redemption, purpose, and emotional breakthrough. For now, though, fans are left in a state of heartbreak and hope, mourning the version of Thomas they loved, while still cheering on every moment he is on screen. And one thing is clear, no matter what happens next, the world will be watching and feeling every step of Thomas Forrester's complicated journey. Soap Opera Network. The halls of Forrester Creations are buzzing with a mix of festive cheer and high-stakes corporate drama as 2025 draws to a close. For fans of Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, the news is a bittersweet cocktail of long-awaited reunions and the looming threat of another heartbreaking departure. After months of speculation, Thomas has officially returned to Los Angeles, but his homecoming is far from the simple, happily ever after many had hoped for. Here is the breakdown of the sad news regarding Thomas Forrester's future and the explosive storylines currently unfolding on The Bold and the Beautiful. The return, a bittersweet holiday. Thomas Forrester's return during the week of December 22nd, 2025, was intended to be a centerpiece of the Forrester family Christmas .1, while his presence at the mansion brought joy to his sister Steffi, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and father Ridge, Torsten K. The professional reality is much more somber. Point 2. 1. The death of a dream for Deke. The most immediate sad news involves the collateral damage of Thomas's return. Point 3. To make room for Thomas as the lead designer for Hope for the Future, HFTF, Steffi made the ruthless executive decision to fire Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn. Point 4. The conflict. Hope, Logan, Annika Noel fought tooth and nail to keep Deke, valuing their fresh, creative rhythm. Point 5. The result. Thomas's return has effectively ruined Deke's dreams, leaving Hope feeling immense guilt and creating a new rift between her and Thomas before they've even sat down at a sketchpad together. Point 6. 2. Is Matthew Atkinson leaving again? Perhaps the most today very sad news for fans is the growing rumor that this return is only temporary. Speculation has reached a fever pitch that Matthew Atkinson may be in for a drive-by appearance rather than a permanent contract. Point 7. The evidence. Some industry insiders have hinted that Atkinson only filmed for a limited window. Point 8. The storyline trap. With Hope now happily remarried to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, the romantic path for Thope is currently blocked. If Thomas isn't going to be Hope's partner, and he's displaced a popular new character like Deke, writers may find themselves with no place for him once the holiday tinsel is packed away. What's next? A rivalry that could change everything. While the short-term news feels heavy, the long-term spoilers suggest a massive pivot for the character. If Thomas stays, he won't be playing nice for long. The rise of a rival fashion house. The most exciting and potentially tragic path for Thomas involves a betrayal of the Forrester legacy. With Eric Forrester, John McCook, feeling pushed into a forced retirement by Ridge, the stage is set for a family civil war. Point 9. The secret weapon. Thomas knows exactly what it feels like to be cast aside by Ridge for personal reasons. Spoilers suggest Thomas may become Eric's secret partner in a new, rival fashion house. Point 10. The financier. With Bill Spencer potentially funding this new venture and Katie Logan launching her own line at Spencer Publications, Thomas could find himself leading the charge against Steffi and Ridge. The professional packed with hope. In recent episodes, specifically December 22nd, Thomas and Hope shared a private moment where Thomas promised to keep things strictly professional. Point 11. He claimed he only wants to bring back the thunderous applause their work once garnered. However, the bold and the beautiful history shows that these pacts rarely hold. The Liam factor. Liam Spencer is already on high alert. Any private time Thomas spends with Hope is bound to trigger a confrontation. Summary table. Thomas Forrester's 2026 Outlook Potential Outcome Likelihood Impact on Fans Permanent Exit Moderate Very High. Sad News. Rival House Lead High. Exciting/dramatic. Thope Reunion Low Current. Mixed Conflict with Ridge Guaranteed High. Classic B&B. The verdict. Heartbreak or heroism? For Thomas Forrester, the sad news today is the realization that he is returning to a world that has moved on. His son Douglas is away. His former flame Hope is married to his rival, and his presence has already cost a young designer his job. Whether this is the beginning of a redemption arc through a new fashion empire or the final goodbye for Matthew Atkinson remains to be seen. One thing is certain: Thomas Forrester never exits quietly.